CrankGameplays. For some, he is the ex-child on YouTube.
It's been weird these last couple of years because I'm not like the baby anymore.
Others recognize him as the backflip guy that took the spotlight off one of Markiplier's panels.
Wait, I gotta come back there?
No, stay there. He's gonna run up to you.
I was about to run. Oh, he's gonna come to me.
I'm not about to run.
Security! Security! Security!
Most though know him as just Heapass. Sorry, I mean Ethan Nestor, of course.
What are you doing?
Don't you dare talk to Heapass like that.
You're right. I apologize.
If you've clicked on this video knowing who the blue boy is, which to be fair, I don't know why else you'd be here if you didn't, I bet each person watching must have found out about him in a different way than the other. You have his own channel, Reddit, Unus Annus, Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, and a whole list of other collabs he's been a part of. Ethan rose in popularity when his personality was put on the pedestal and given the opportunity to shine. In doing so, he not only made himself appear very likable to the audience watching,
This is Tyler. Who are you?
Heapass.
Heapass?
but also to his peers, which resulted in a whole slew of lifelong friendships with a bunch of other content creators. Ethan has achieved what others could only dream of in his ever-long decade on this platform. But what makes him unique is his ability to befriend all those that share common interests or traits with him. His authentic self is what garnered him not just his audience, but the audience of those that he found himself collaborating with. While all this seems dandy, we'll all soon come to realize how this eventually became a detriment to his career later in this video. Hardcore fans may know where I'm taking the direction today. So join me as we discuss none other than CrankGameplays himself. Ethan's initial climb to eventual fame has always been an ongoing journey, with him working hard to perfect his craft long before witnessing the fruits of his labor. But the moment it all changed for him was when, through sheer determination of his unique personality and bold ideas, he was invited on to work for Mark on his channel. Through there, we got to see more and more of this person that had won the heart of Markiplier. That same heart would then go on to gradually win over us as well, and thousands flocked over to the CrankGameplays channel. People couldn't get enough of the Ethan we became accustomed to over on series such as Markiplier Makes, and it was here that Nestor's fate would be sealed. Whether that was for the better or worse was something Ethan wouldn't become aware of until much later. But what was it that happened in between this time? Well, a lot really. He went on tour, attended conventions, got to know amazing people, discovered more of his own interests, started and succeeded at a year-long project alongside Mark and Amy, went on tour again, but this time in a way he resigned. He wasn't just going to be one of those YouTubers that stuck to what would be most profitable. He proved himself time and time again to be much more than what could be seen just on screen. But how was his YouTube channel doing all this time? Accomplishments aside, he is a gamer, right? I mean, that is how his YouTube channel started to garner attraction soon after its birth. Well, he is a gamer, and that is the biggest issue. Let me explain.
Filling is the most important part of any pie. Tell them about it.
Oh, if you don't have a filling in your pie, you don't have a pie.
Ethan is a lovable goofball. The best traits he has on display in front of the camera are ones where he can bounce his energy back and forth with someone else there with him. He creates a dynamic like no other with how adaptable he is to different bits and changing environments, thanks in part to his talents in improv he's acquired over the years.
So glad I paid for all your improv lessons.
You're welcome.
When with others, he's not only able to showcase the best in them, but he's also able to take center stage during his own iconic movements. Perhaps it's due to his ADHD, but the spectrum of chaos is off the charts whenever interactivity is an option for Ethan. The same is true for when he can just look at the camera and do whatever. Reviewing toys or out and about in his backyard are all activities where Ethan has unlimited access to whatever the fuck he wants. Only his mind is the obstacle once he's just proceeding with everyday things, being no one but his own genuine self. Now, Compare everything I've just said with the format that gaming videos usually fall under. They're much more restrictive. The creator is relegated to a chair with a forward-facing camera when in actuality the real attraction of the content is the game being played. The only hope of standing out amongst a crowd of others doing the same thing is if one has valuable input to give, whether that be skills on display, opinions on the game, reactions to the narrative, or just something else as a whole. It is something everyone has to just master if they truly wish to be successful with an already stagnant genre of videos. Most of the time it has to be the latter, and something unique has to be done altogether. After all, if one isn't capable of bringing something new to the table, then why be invited to sit at all? If you can't adapt to a constrained desk, you might want to rely on your engaging voice that guides a viewer through the hour-long video, or maybe use your enthusiasm and passion for a game to get others excited for it with you. Or perhaps you could just go in an entirely different direction and purposefully give the opposite of what the audience would usually demand, and go off of that alone. No matter what it may be, it's come to my attention that none of the above, or a potential below, are what fit the capabilities of CrankGameplays. It's quite literally like trying to trap unmedicated ADHD in a box and thinking that that is how it will reach its truest potential. All this isn't to say that Ethan doesn't really love games, or that he shouldn't be allowed to make the type of videos his heart desires. Quite the contrary, he can and should do whatever he wants to. However, it doesn't dissipate the observation that Ethan is at his best when partaking in activities where his actions and speech aren't limited to what is just shown on screen.
Why are you still over there?
Why are you over minding your business, bitch?
Even just being around someone, whether that be while playing a game or otherwise, allow him to actively engage more prominently than behind a screen where cutscene is the real priority. What this has unfortunately resulted in is a channel that has remained pretty stagnant for a very long time now, and the views to subscribers ratio is often evidence of that. What adds to the discrepancy is when people come across him on a channel not his own. They then subsequently head on over to CrankGameplays in sheer hope of seeing more of the joyful banter presented originally. But people may find themselves disappointed with the abundance of gaming content at their disposal. See, Ethan may have amassed fans surrounding around who he is thanks to his friends and cohorts, but he hasn't gathered a following for what he does in his leisure time. I myself have tried to give his gaming-centric videos a watch, and I must say that the change from one type of content to another was quite significant and even jarring for a while. But that's just my experience at the end of the day. To back up my statements presented, I have two main sources of evidence I'd like to point you all toward. The first one is a task you can all take part in. Go over to the CrankGameplays channel right now and sort the videos by the most popular. Then take a look at what's on display. Removing any Unisan's supplementary videos and collabs with Mark, it's clear just how much of a demand IRL styled content has. Hell, the top viewed video is Ethan reviewing shit, which ultimately defeats the common notion that people only like Ethan if he is around Mark.
Here's my channel.
I do notice a difference with like your top video thumbnails. A lot of them are your face.
Yeah.
Mine is different. It's a lot of them are the games that
A lot of them are your face too.
I'm not gonna mention that. But no. If you look across
yeah.
the board, it is like a lot more of just your face is kind of there, which is interesting because like that showcases that people are clicking on videos because they're like, oh, that's Ethan. I want to see that.
If this still isn't enough of a correlation for all you skeptics out there, then look no further than the second point I have: Ethan's store and its comeback. We've all seen TikTokers and other content creators with millions of followers that really have no solid fan base when it comes to dedicated and loyal supporters willing enough to make the effort to come meet them in person. No one can be blamed for that. We're in an age of media right now where each person is as volatile as the trend that gets them on the front page. In the end though, this is what proves the statements I've been making all throughout this video. More often than not, you see Ethan's videos do poorly when compared to his subscriber count. But once you factor in just how many people from across the globe flew and trekked large distances to attend his show this year, you gain the perspective of, damn, people do really care about him. This venture was so successful that Ethan is sparking the light once more and going on tour yet again. I was ecstatic when I heard the news, since I truly do believe that he's at his best when given free reign over the instruments of chaos he's mastered. Tour and all these other IRL videos are where the core of what makes CrankGameplays special truly lies. And ironically, it has nothing to do with gameplays. Or cranks for that matter, but who's counting? If there's one closing sentence I have, it's that I can say with full confidence that Ethan isn't going anywhere. He's joked time and time again about how he runs a dead channel, but this video and all its supplementary examples only go to show how his journey with the content industry has merely just begun. And I, as well as many others, are here for it. If you enjoyed this video, please do consider subscribing and leaving a comment down below. I love whatever you guys have to say regarding any of the topics I cover in my videos. In the meantime though, here are 2 videos that YouTube thinks that you'd enjoy. Give them a shot. I bet you won't be disappointed. Until next time, this has been Vexrus, and see ya.